Hi everyone again, welcome to Franka's Fab Family. I am Franka, and again we're continuing with the green for this week on money matters. Today we're going to look at paying your bills. And the reason why I want to start with paying your bills is that you cannot multiply your resources long term in adult life if you don't know how to pay your bills, or if you choose not to pay your bills. So I want to talk to you parents out there who are struggling to pay your bills, or you just choose not to really pay your bills. And when I say pay your bills, I mean like your financial responsibilities: rent, utilities, car note, bus fare, things like that. When you choose not to pay your bills, when you choose to ignore your financial obligations, you are more than likely going to suffer financially. I have seen it time and time again. You cannot work and decide, I'm going to go get my hair done, or I'm going to go get my nails done, or I'm going to go to a party and rent is due tomorrow, and you're just going to give the landlord some bogus excuse, I remember one time when I was in college, I remember these two friends of mine. One of them, she was using the phone of another housemate, and the bill racked up to, let's say, $700-800. Now, she gave the friend the money to pay the bill. The friend spent the money, and resulted in having bad credit, And I've always had a big thing about paying your bills. Is just how my mother and how we were raised. It's like, it was almost like your money is not your money until your bills are paid. So until you pay all of your mandatory bills every month, whatever is left over is for you to enjoy. But unfortunately, especially a lot of young adults now think that I want to go to work and I want to enjoy my money and I'm sick of paying these bills. If you fall into that category, the only thing I can tell you is that you would need to be homeless. You would need to be homeless. You would need to be serviceless. You would need to be resourcesless. And the reason why, we have to understand that the things in which we use, we must pay for. It's that simple. If you live someplace, it is your responsibility to pay to live there unless you own the property. And even when you own a property, you have to pay your annual taxes, you have to pay your land taxes, you have to pay the fees for garbage pickup. So we have just created a society where we cannot live without money. We're not supposed to worship money. We're not supposed to, money's not our driving force in life, but money is definitely a resource that we need in order to maintain and to have a particular quality of life, if that's what we want. So I want to encourage you guys, especially parents, why it's so important to teach your children how to pay bills and not fuss. I know of families that, their children help turn away bill collectors or hang up the phone when bill collectors come. Do you know that all you're doing is teaching your children to avoid their financial responsibility? You cannot take a credit card from a creditor, use it, and not pay the bill. I remember, again, another friend in college, when she was depressed, she would go and write. Well, I remember one time she wrote $1,000 worth of checks that she knew would bounce. And she was like, I'll deal with that later. And I remember thinking to myself, that's madness. That's pure madness, because those people are going to come for you for their money. You have the clothes, you have their services, and they're going to come for you. Why are people choosing not to pay their bills? This is just my personal definition and from my experience with people who I've seen that don't like to pay their bills. I just call it plain old worthlessness, financial worthlessness. And what that means is that you have decided that you are going to continuously, on a monthly basis, rob service providers, rob yourself of, like you're stealing. When you use your cell phone, you've actually just used the resource of the provider, no matter who that is, AT&T, T-Mobile, Spectrum, whoever. You've used their services. You have enjoyed texting, you have enjoyed Instagram, you have enjoyed phone calls, you have enjoyed all the amenities of the phone and the services the phone provides, but you decided to be worthless and not pay the bill. Funny enough, people will pay the cell phone bill, but they will complain. But then you have other bills. You have light bill, you have water bill, you have cable bill, you have a car note if you have a vehicle, or at least a transportation bill because you need to get to and from school or work. And then you have rent because you have to live someplace unless you're going to be homeless like I spoke of earlier. So the reason why I call not paying your bills worthless, and I have come across a lot of people that choose not to pay their bills first. You have decided that I'd rather work and enjoy my money than be financially responsible for the things that I am enjoying. So what ends up happening? You'll be one of those people who light bill gets cut off all the time, your water will get cut off, and your children's life will be affected. When a child grows up in a home and they see, well, mommy has new shoes or daddy has a new toy or something like that, but our light bills get cut off every now and again. Our water bill get cut off every now and again. I know yesterday I spoke about my aunt who has a brownstone. There's a family of 9 living in her house, a family of 9. The mother, the father, her mother, her 4 children, and the 2 grandchildren, and they haven't paid rent in 2 years. I spent the whole summer last year trying to help my aunt get these people out of her building, and they're still there. And my twins were with me in the summer, and I remember saying to them, this is what worthlessness is, what I tell you about. This family decided to move into this building, but because my aunt is a senior citizen, they decided we're not paying any rent. The husband went as far as saying to me, take us to court, take us to court. So I said, no problem. We will take you to court and we will get you out of that building. But it was very critical for my children to understand the level of worthlessness that you have to be as an adult, living in somebody's place, using their resources. They don't even pay for water in the building. And you decide we're going to live here for free. Nothing good can come of their life financially. Nothing good. Nothing good. They will never see their way financially because, again, if life is that circle that I keep talking about, what you give out is what you will get back. You cannot use the services of a person's home, of a vehicle, of electricity, of water, of all of those things and then decide, I'm just not going to pay for it. That's actually called stealing. And we have to understand that you don't really steal from anyone. You actually steal from yourself. You steal from your children. What you do, you are depriving yourself from future opportunities. When we looked up their history, they had over 12 different apartments in 14 years that my aunt and her husband, that was the longest that they had ever stayed in an apartment. As a whole family, you're teaching your children how to steal from senior citizens. You decided that I'm just gonna, and they drove Mercedes. The wife drove a Mercedes Jeep, the husband drove a Mercedes car, and the one of the younger boys had a I think it was an Infiniti or a Lexus or something. So I was just like, imagine you want to dress up and walk through life like you're quote unquote big, but you're robbing people. Every time you decide to not pay the bills of services that you have used, you are robbing yourself from future financial blessings. And I guarantee the hole that you're digging, you're going to fall in financially, or your children are going to fall in financially, because it will become a big problem. You don't know how to manage your money. And your priorities in terms of your financial management is in the garbage. It's literally in the garbage because you decided that you're going to practice worthlessness when it comes to financial management. Another thing is people don't like to pay their taxes. For those of you that don't know where your tax money goes, even though I do believe that, you know, the way it's tiered and how you make money and all of that is geared to benefit some other than the other, but I do think everyone should pay their taxes, and this is the reason why. We live in a community that we are all enjoying what is called common areas. We're enjoying the roads, at least here in Florida where I live, the roads are really nice, not as filled with potholes as the New York roads, but you're still driving on roads. You have traffic lights. You have public servants to pay. I worked for the public service when I was in the British Virgin Islands for a very long time. So I understood where tax money goes. It pays for service providers. It pays for the amenities that we use. It pays for public schools. It pays for many public hospitals. It pays for libraries. It pays for, like I said, traffic lights, for roadways, for bridges, for highways. It pays for the common area in the community in which we live. Just like if you move to a community that has a special HOA, homeowners association, you will have to pay an extra fee because that takes care of the pool, or that takes care of the garden or the flowers or whatever. Taxes go to pay for the public, the common areas that we all as a people benefit and use. So when tax season comes and you decide, I don't want to pay my taxes, or people gripe and complain because Uncle Sam is coming for their taxes, I want you to understand that every time you are outside and walking along a sidewalk, you are stopped at a traffic light, there's a stop sign, you see construction workers on public roadways. Do you know that the water that you pay for, there are public water lines before it gets to your apartment or to your house? That has to be paid for. So collectively, we as a community will pay for that. Just like how you pay for your bills in your house, or should pay for the bills in your house. We must teach our children that our fixed bills is just that. It's our bills. I'm so disappointed in my people, and I really hope that we take more measure in investing in life insurance. To pay a small amount of money every month for life insurance, and then my children get what, $1 million, $250,000 that will help them inherit a much better financial standing than what I was given. Come on, we spend so much money in other areas of life. We go out to eat, we buy new clothes, we gift people with things like that. But when it comes to our bills and our financial responsibility, too many of us adults are complaining about it. I know people who don't like to pay their rent. Every month you're fussing about paying your rent. Move out of the people's house and go on the street. You can choose to be homeless, you know. You can actually choose. You can say, I'd rather just work and live in my car, and I will go and enjoy my money. I can go where I want. But you cannot and should not believe, and definitely should not teach your children, that you should enjoy the amenities of living in a home, using the water, the light, the cell phone, the cable, you know, if you have the opportunity to drive the car, transportation, funds and all of that, and you gripe and complain every single month, every month. Another thing is that when I worked at a college, I used to tell the young people, use your time wisely. If you are an adult and you don't have any children yet, get a second job. When you're in your 20s and in your 30s, that's the time for what I call hustle, financially hustle. I've been working since I was 14 years old. Grew up in New York. My sister and I, when we realized that we can get a summer job from 14 years old, I was working and hustling. I moved up to supervisor manager real quick, even before I went to college, because I understood the concept of goods and services and paying your bills and things like that. So the more I did what I was supposed to do, the more life opened up opportunities for me. You are doing your children a great disservice if you train them on not paying their bills and being financially responsible. I know in one of the videos I spoke about a former friend of mine, that his son had just moved out into his own apartment, and the first month he's calling the dad for $500 to pay the rent. And I remember saying to him, like, that's madness. That would be a no for me. That would be a no, because that means that your son hasn't counted the cost of his financial obligation. Do you plan on sending him $500 every month to help him pay his rent? That is being financially irresponsible and not prepared. So the parent is being financially irresponsible. I saw the other day that 40% of Generation Z have a parent paying one of their bills. Imagine that. A parent is paying an adult bill, whether it's a cell phone, a light bill, a cable bill, some type of bill. And you know why that is happening? Because those parents did not prepare those children that are now adults in financial management. And it's so critical that you start with showing your kids that you pay your bills and you pay them on time. You pay your bills and you pay them on time. It is disgraceful for children to grow up in a house where it's like, okay, the light bill is being cut off, the water bill, and I understand people are having other financial issues. God forbid you lost your job. God forbid, you fell ill. But this is where we have to go into preparation for the unexpected financial needs. So tomorrow when we look at saving. So today we're going to pay our bills, people. You do not get to enjoy your money until all of your bills are paid. So whatever you have left over after you pay your rent, you pay your light, you pay your water, you pay your car, you pay your insurance. After you pay all of that, that's when you get to enjoy. So if you only have $50 left, you only have $50 left. And that includes food and all the other obligations that we have. So again, it is so critical that we as the parents instill values. We could have screwed up our whole credit. We could have screwed up everything that we knew financially, and we are struggling as adults. Because there are many of you out there that are struggling. But I'm telling you, how to rein that back in is by starting to be financially responsible for the bills that you have. Cut off cable. If you need to find some money that, you need to find out where your money, cut off cable. Cut it off. We have the internet. There was a family over COVID. She drove to a shopping mall every single day so her kids could get the Wi-Fi to do their homework in the car. And I remember thinking, that is a person doing what she needs to do to get through and to show her children that while this is not the best situation, we are going to make this thing happen because your grades and your school is going to help you better on later in life. So if we don't prepare our kids to understand the financial demands, and we are not the example to show our children, no, I have to pay my bills. My kids will hear me say all the time, no, I don't have the money for that. No, I don't have the money for that. Yes, I have the money for this because I stay on the budget. We have to stay on a budget. You have to be able to create a realistic expectation. You can't just decide every month, I'm going to go buy myself a new treat, and you have bills that you haven't paid. So to all my fellow adults out there, and definitely to all my fellow parents out there, it is critical that bill paying becomes priority in our financial intelligence. You must pay your bill in order to see your finances grow. So stick and stay. Tomorrow we are going to look at saving. Why it's so important to learn how to save some of your money. You should not and cannot spend everything and you're down to a zero at the end of every month. So when the new month comes, you're waiting on money to come in. That is a very dangerous place to place yourself in financially. So I'm going to show you why it's so critical that if you can just put away just a little, how quickly it'll add up, that it can save you when you need it. I am Franka Potter. Remember to join me tomorrow. We are going to look at savings. Why it's so important that you save your money. So now today you've paid your bills. Start paying your bills, people. And tomorrow we are going to start saving from what's left over. I am Franka Potter. Remember to hit the notification button, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great day, everyone. I love you all. Take care.